All right, I got a little bit of time to work on this. I got an F450 coming in to be worked on, so got a mess again. I mean, I can't even keep it clean. I'm gonna take out the pin from these pistons, and the way they just pressed in there. They don't have the clip that locks them in. So what I'm gonna do is bring it over to the press, get a socket that drops into the hole, and press it out. I got this little setup here that I'll just hold this right here, put the socket in it, and press it out. So that'll work out good. So I'll be back. All right, this is a setup right here. It's a 15mm socket, long, deep well socket. Put it in, it's a tight fit. It just slides in. You got a real small gap right there. And all I do is just press. See if you can see when it starts. That's it. It starts to move right there. So now it's real light. It's like nothing. So right there just touches the bottom. So now I have to release it and leave the socket in there and just take a hammer and just tap the rest out. It's still a little snug. All right, I'll be back. All right, I got the other one set up. I just wanted to go through. If I wanted, I could put the other piece here side by side, this block, and let that pin go down through the center. I wouldn't even have to take a hammer. And if you were using these pistons again, it ain't doing any damage to it. This pin is so lightly pressed in that it's not even scarring the aluminum right there. So it comes out with no problem, no damage to the piston. But I have new pistons. So I'm just gonna clean these up, probably run them through the sandblaster a little bit, and just have them, if anything ever goes wrong, I have a backup piston to use in something else. It being a Mazda doesn't mean that it's got to be back in a Mazda engine. As long as the diameter is right, you can use it on several different things, and the height right here is right. So I'll go ahead and take this off, and that is, see, it's moving right there. So I don't even have much pressure on it, but I'll go ahead and do that now, and I got some more to finish, and then I'll come back. Okay, I'll show you the setup I was talking about in the last clip. I put the two pieces there. There's a big opening there. I got this old bearing sitting there, and then everything's set up the same, so that pin will go straight down, and that works a lot easier if you don't want to be messing with it. So I'll go ahead and set it up and then show you a clip. All right, this is the setup here. Same setup. I'll start pressing. It's moving. This is where it gets real light. Now, really light. And that's it. She's actually out. That's the 15mm. Pin is out. Pin fell right there. So that's it, if you're doing it that way. And no damage to the piston. It's an old piston anyway. All right then. All right, everything's out now. That's the 4 pins right there, and that's the socket that takes them out. They all look about the same, but as you can see, this is then just a hair smaller, not by a lot. So I got that done. I probably won't be in here too long, but the 4 pistons are right there. The arms are right there, and it's cold and windy outside. I got my little kerosene heater running. Outside is about 38 degrees. Inside is right at 50. That's all this will do. If I leave it on for a few hours, I think the highest I've ever seen it is about 55, but it was probably warm outside. We got winds of about 60 miles an hour outside. There's some storm on the East Coast. It's coming through. So, man, that's a mess. But I'll go ahead now and maybe just clean some stuff up. All right, I just got the arms, washed them up inside here, and clean them up. When you're doing this, let me see if I can see it. Okay, see that hole you can see through right there? Let me see if I can see through it this way. Yeah, right there, that dot on it, that's an oil port. The oil goes through right there, get on the bearings. This one, and I think it's this one. Let's see if I can, yeah. See the hole there? Yeah, that's the hole right there. Got over to the other 2. It's no hole. Well, it is a hole, but it's not, it's clogged up. It's clogged up on that one and on this one. It's clogged up. So those 2 bearings wasn't getting any oil. And that usually comes from either you're not changing your oil like you should, and then it gets so hot that it cakes up inside there and just turns into a hard piece of carbon. But I'll have to clean them out, and everything else seems to be good on it. So I'll see if I can press these back in for today, put back on the pistons on them. So I'll be back. All right, I started honing out the cylinder using this right here. Just hooked up to a drill, and these 3 are polished. They're just smooth from years of wear and tear. That's the one I started. You can see at the top where the ring would stop. That's what has that line. I'm gonna try to see how much I can get out of it. The ring doesn't come past that line. That's where it stopped. But this engine here, I think he's gonna end up probably getting another engine. This one here, we'll still put it together and put it in the truck to run, and I'll put it together the best I can. But some of the journals at the bottom of the rod, those you can tell the numbers on them is 1, 2, 4, and 4. So somebody took it apart before and put it back together. I've been seeing things like that a lot of places where the numbers are doubling up numbers. So we'll put it together, clean it up, make it look good, and he can use it as a daily, or if it works out for him, we'll see what it gets. Goes down right there, you see like there's a line going horizontally going down. That's a slight scar. I can't feel it with my hand, but I know it's there because it's not coming out with the honer. So I'll go ahead and hone all 4 and then see what I got with the piston rings and everything. And This is an old book, but that would be your top ring right here, the bottom ring, and the oil ring, and everything else that piston and all that. So that's what I'm going by. I'll be back. All right, all four is done, and that's the best I can get them with the ring there without going with, you know, a different size ring and all that. The battery ran dead right here, so I'll go back to this one here and see what I can do with it, get it a little bit better. But I'll get in touch with him and see if he just wants to send this block out to have it honed out, open up. He might have to get different rings, but rings are not that expensive. So I'll see. All right, I put the ring in there and checking it for gap, and I'll do that with all of them. I sprayed some lubricant in there just to keep it from rusting. This is what happens when you have a lack of oil. That's it right there. That's the bearings that was on the piston. No, not the piston. Rods. The piston rods anyway. That's them. So as you can see, this engine still hasn't been cleaned up or anything, because it's still debating if it's to use it. If it will be used, then it's just going to be for a little while till the other one comes and be swapped out. The crank is in decent condition, not the best, I would say, and I haven't even checked the head yet. So, but I did put the arms together. Now, when you're testing, you would put on the nuts and put it to torque, lock it down in the vise, torque everything, and then check the inside, make sure it's okay. So I'll do that later on when I get an answer of what they're going to be doing with this engine here. Everything else is here, all the bolts and the oil pump and the cover that holds the water pump, or it is a water pump. So I'll see. But thanks for watching.